This will be a meditative contemplation. So you don't have to do anything, really. Please make yourself as comfortable as possible. Lie down or sit at your sofa. Headphones are recommended to have. It's nice to see my faces again. Hello, everybody. This meditative contemplation is inspired by Rupert Spira. He's a really good teacher. I can recommend him. And I want to go into the second core teaching we were mentioning at the very first day. So the first core teaching was we are consciousness at the very core, and everything else is a layer that is placed on top of that. And consciousness is blissful and happy per se. And the second core teaching, which I want to elaborate and make you feel today, is that consciousness, you, can enjoy any or every experience. And I want to guide you in a state to come close to that experience of enjoyment of anything that is there. So being with what is, in other words. For that meditation, you can close your eyes or have the eyes open. It is helpful to be still with the body, and it will be about 45 minutes. So find a comfortable seat, make some final adjustments, take a deep breath. And with the exhale, sigh out and relax the whole body. Become aware of your environment. Become aware of your inner environment, body, sensations, mind, emotions. And you probably have some thoughts coming up. So you can ask yourself, where is my mind going and why? The mind is asking itself the question. Where is my mind going and why? You can ask your mind, why are you leaving your current direct experience and seeking in time for an alternative? You don't need to find an answer in words. You can just let the question be in the space and see what comes up. Why is the mind leaving the current experience? Trying to seek something different than now. Maybe you notice that the mind only leaves the current experience because something at this experience is intolerable. It's uncomfortable. And it wants to bring this uncomfort, this discomfort to an end. So it's starting to seek. It's searching in time. It doesn't know exactly what for or where to go. It's just roaming around, trying to find something different than the current experience, isn't it? Something that is more pleasant, or something that the mind imagines is more pleasant or more tolerable. And prove it for yourself. Don't take my words for granted. See what actually happens in your experience and in your mind. And then, if your mind is straying away from its current experience, become in touch with that impulse of the uncomfortable feeling. What is the reason, the impulse that the mind wants to stray away? What is the feeling behind? Or maybe it's a sensation of discomfort or a feeling that is intolerable. What is the mind's desire? What is the mind's impulse to avoid the current feeling and seek in time? And again, this is not something you answer with the words. This is more a way to relax into the uncomfortable feeling that lies behind the mind's activity. Maybe an emotional or physical pain. Maybe just being bored. And even a so simple feeling as boredom, which no one really hurts, is enough for the mind to seek in time, to try to change something, to escape from the current experience. The mind is actually seeking to destruct itself in the past or in the future. Distract from the discomfort of the boredom or whatever is there. But does the mind actually bring that boredom or the emotion or the discomfort to an end? Or does it simply mask it? And as soon as the mind isn't searching anymore and there's a bit of silence, the feeling comes back. It resurfaces. So the mind didn't let the uncomfortable feeling disappear, it just masks it. It just covers it in the hope to find something less discomfortable, less intolerable. And of course, that happens with more intense feelings like shame, or sorrow, or grief, or lack. All such feelings are uncomfortable, much more than probably only boredom. And in order to escape those feelings, the mind creates thoughts, pictures, scenarios. Thoughts to wander off from the present moment. I want you to explore the feeling right now and here behind this impulse of the mind wandering off. So when the mind is asking itself, what are you seeking for? An honest answer will be to avoid discomfort. Seeking an object, state of mind, a relationship, substances, to avoid what is there already. I want you to confront the mind with the clear understanding that the activity of seeking, acquiring of some sort of object or thought, does not bring the discomfort which lays underneath to an end. It simply covers it, masks it. And isn't it what happens in life so often? There's a feeling coming, the mind tries to avoid it, it's seeking, it's briefly requiring some release or distraction, but at some point the feeling comes back. It's a loop, a cycle. Feeling comes, avoidance, brief satisfaction, and feeling again. Almost like an addiction to think. So now be in touch with whatever is there in your experience now. Maybe that's a sensation or a feeling, an emotion. Even if it's very subtle and gentle. Instead of avoiding that feeling, go towards it. Do the opposite. Then striving away, go towards it. Invite it to come close. Bring the feeling close. Turn towards the feeling that's gradually happening. Bring it close. In Tantra Yoga, we say walk into the fire of the feeling. That's where awakening is happening, in the midst of the fire of the feeling. And as the feeling comes closer and closer, ask yourself the question, can I live with this feeling forever? This question will expose a part of your current feeling or experience that is unpleasant, that you try to avoid. So go to that part, draw it close. Be very sensitive and go into the subtle layers. Some feelings are not so obviously unpleasant like desire. But the very nature of desire, for example, is to be not enough in this situation. Something is missing. Don't discipline the mind. Don't tell it what to do. Just let it happen like it happens. Don't say, I shouldn't feel this or that. I shouldn't think this or that. The opposite, feel it. Go close. Bring it close. Maybe you know this story of the princess and the frog or the toad. And the princess, she had to kiss the toad before the toad transforms into the prince she ever wished for. But the toad, is that what she most disliked, what she had the most resistance towards, most repulsive to her? But after she kissed the frog or the toad, it transformed into the prince. So I want you to go as close to the toad, to your feelings and emotions that lie behind the reason why your mind wants to change the current experience, and to kiss this unpleasantness of being okay with what is. Go so close to that current feeling or sensation, current experience, that even the name disappears. You cannot name it anymore. You cannot say that is sadness, that is boredom, that is it's a nameless intensity of feeling. Stay with the intolerable. Stay with the unbearable. And ask yourself, is this really unbearable? Is it even unpleasant? And if it's unpleasant still, you haven't brought it close enough. Allow it to come close without any distance. And if you can still give it a name, it still has a distance from you. We can only give something a name if it's separate from us. As soon as we melt into it, it becomes us, we become us. So melt into that feeling of the current experience, whatever is there. The only reason why we name our feelings is because we are standing apart from it, from the feeling as a separate self. And it's not the feeling that is intolerable. It is the distance between ourself and the feeling. The separate self is that distance, the identification with something else. You imagining you are sorrow or shame, loneliness or boredom. Without that separate self, without that distance, it's just a nameless intensity. The unpleasantness of a feeling is not in the experience itself. It is in our resistance to it, in that distance. So let the distance melt, bring the feeling close. Take that unpleasantness and open yourself fully to it. Until you can completely honestly say, I can live with that forever. For so long we have been conditioned to believe that happiness is to be found by avoiding uncomfortable feelings, unpleasantness, through the acquisition of objects or substances or relationships or you name it. And it's the very opposite. The happiness or the peace or love that we seek is concealed at the very heart of experience itself. As soon as we give it a name, we distance ourselves from it. It's only possible to name it when you look at it from the outside. From the inside, it's not possible to know anything. You just are. Love is the collapse of the imaginary distance between ourself and our experience. We all know that from relationship. If we feel most in love, we don't feel a distance to the other person. Happiness is not a pleasant feeling. It's the absence of distance between ourselves and our feelings. What is the difference between unpleasant sensations and pleasant sensations? Pleasant sensations let us move closer towards them, whereas unpleasant wants to create more distance towards it. So it's not the sensation that creates happiness, it's the absence of distance between ourself and the sensation or the feeling. It's the dissolution of the separate self that gives rise to happiness, to true happiness. It's the absence of that separate self that reveals the ever-present underlying happiness, contentment, the substance of all feelings. So whatever is there now for you, bring it close. Merge with it. The same is true for our perceptions. For example, the experience of beauty. It has nothing to do with the object itself or with the perception of it. You can see a sunrise in one day and you see the beauty in it, and at another day you don't see the beauty. It's not the sunrise or the sunset itself that gives the beauty. It's feeling. It's the absence of the distance between the object and the self. And some objects have the power to draw us closer. And some others create more resistance. And we call them ugly. It's not a property of the object itself. Happiness is not a property of a feeling. Love is not a property of relationships. All that are just names, love and beauty, out of the stuff which all experience are made of. When we can be fully present with them. And separating ourselves from our experience is the cause that beauty or love, or name it, is missing. So that's why the separate self, or our mind, always is on the search for beauty, wants to change the experience. But the mind, or the separate self, can never find it, can never find what it's seeking, because its own activity by itself is that which creates more distance. Come back to your current feeling and perceptions. Is there the slightest impulse to move away from your current feeling or experience? And now see what happens to thinking when there's no impulse to move away from the current experience. And this separate self, or this distance, it's not an entity. That is an activity. So allow this activity to slowly, effortlessly come to rest. To rest in your current experience. And don't discipline or touch or manipulate the current experience. Let it be like it is. Disciplining experience is the activity of the ego. It wants it to change. But we want to melt into the heart of the experience and not trying to change or manipulate it. What we seek is the heart of all experience. And it can never be found by avoiding it. If you bring experience so close, if you go deeply into it, intimately, you never find a separate self or ego. Merge with your experience fully, effortlessly. Relax into it. Is there the slightest impulse to leave the now? If there's no impulse, where is there for thought to go? The only place that thought cannot stand is the now. So gently relax, soften into the heart of experience. Let the breath come into your awareness. The inhales become bigger, more full. Blink your eyes open. Thank you very much. We make a break. If you want us to join for the premium session Q&A, then please come back at 2 o'clock Greek time, 1 o'clock German time, 12 o'clock British time.
In 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes. It's lovely to have you there, and see you soon. I wish you a good day.